Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sunday Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class of ISKCON Portland. So today we'll be reading from Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse number 13. But before we get started, I want to request the mercy of all our previous acharyas and the assembled devotees here so that I can speak something which is totally from the Shastra and not my anything imperfect from my own things, from my own mind. So I'll chant the Mangalacharan prayers now. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare I also want to chant the invocation prayers for Śrīmad Bhāgavatam before we get started. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. So we'll now start with the verse for today. I'll share my screen. So 1.13.13. So I think I'll chant it 3 times, and then devotees can also chant after that. Nanva apriyam durvishaham nidanam swayam upasthitam navedayat sakaruno dukhitan drashtumakshamaha. Nanva apriyam durvishaham nidanam swayam upasthitam navedayat sakaruno dukhitam drashtumakshamaha. Nanva priyam durvishaham nidanam swayam upasthitam Navedayat sakaruno dukhitan drashtumakshamaha. Would devotees like to chant?
Nanva priyam durvishaham nrinam स्वयं उपस्थितं नावेदयेत् सकरुणो दुःखितां द्रष्टुमकस्मः अक्षमः.
Thank you.
नान्वप्रियं दुर्विशाहं नृणां स्वयम् उपास्थितं नावेदयात् सकरुणो दुःखितं द्रष्टुम् अक्षमः.
Thank you. Yes,
नन्मप्रियं दुर्विषहं नृणां स्वयमुपस्थितं नावेदयत् सकरुणो दुःखितान् द्रष्टुमक्षमः.
Thank you, Guruji.
Nanapriyam Durvisham Nirnam Swayam Pashtatam Navdayat Sakarno Lokitam Drashtamakshama. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Guruji. Anyone else would like to chant? Okay. Okay, I think my husband is here. He wants to chant too. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Thank you. Okay. So we'll go to synonyms. Nanu, as a matter of fact. Apriyam, unpalatable. Durvishaham, unbearable. Nidam, of humankind. Swayam, in its own way. Upasthitam, appearance. Na, did not. Avedyat, expressed. Sakarunaha, compassionate. Dukhitan, distressed. Drashtum, to see. Akshamaha, unable. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Compassionate Mahatma Vidur could not stand to see the Pandavas distressed at any time. Therefore, he did not disclose this unpalatable and unbearable incident because calamities come of their own accord. Purport. According to Niti Shastra, civic laws, one should not speak an unpalatable truth to cause distress to others. Distress comes upon us in its own way by the laws of nature. So one should not aggravate it by propaganda. For a compassionate soul like Vidur, especially in his dealings with the beloved, with the beloved Pandavas, it was almost impossible to disclose an unpalatable piece of news like the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty. Therefore, he purposely refrained from it. So, this discloses, this brings into light the compassionate nature of Vidur Maharaj, and also the fact that he knew the etiquette of how to deal with other devotees. He was a very compassionate person, and he could not share that very distressful news that the Yadu dynasty has departed, because he didn't want to upset or bring distress to Yudhishthir Maharaj, who was in conversation with him. And because anyway, the distresses come on their own accord. Inevitably, the news would have come to the Pandavas. But Vidurji did not want to be the bearer of that news, the one to share that. As it is, Maharaj Yudhishthir had become the king after a lot of persuasion. After the Mahabharat war, he didn't want to become the king, and after lot of counseling, he agreed to become the king. And then now with this news, Vidurji knew that he would not be able to take it, and actually that's what happened in the next chapter itself. Like, we are in chapter 13. In future chapters, we learn that when Arjun finally comes back to Hastinapur and breaks the news to Yudhishthir Maharaj, he immediately renounces everything and goes to the Himalayas. So that's what would have happened. He would not have remained emperor and taken care of the kingdom. And so Vidurji, being very compassionate, he did not want to start that off. because anyway, the news couldn't have been stopped. I mean, this news would sometime or the other definitely come, but he didn't want to be the propaganda person for that. Which is something that we should learn for ourselves here. This is explained by Bhagwan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, a very famous verse where he instructs us about the austerity of speech. So Vidurji was practicing that, and we'll see it's Bhagavad Gita 17.15 in. So Bhagwan, Lord Shri Krishna explains what are the qualities of speech that one should follow. I'll read the translation first. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. So the news of annihilation of Yadu dynasty was truthful, yes, but it was not pleasing and it was agitating to others. So Vidurji refrained from sharing that, and we should also try to incorporate that in our speech, that whenever we are talking, we make sure that these elements are taken care of. Speaking the truth, speaking something which is pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others. So this is really an austerity. Many times we indulge in some kind of speech which does not follow these things, either being pleasing or agitating, so we should try to refrain from that. So yeah, I'll read the Sanskrit of this as well. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapuchyate. So this is the tapa, the austerity of speech that Bhagwan has instructed in Bhagavad Gita, and this is exactly what Vidur Maharaj was showing us with his example. Now, there's another thing which I wanted to bring out here. There is one more example which I was recently reading, and when I was reading the verse for today, I could totally see a similarity, and that's what I want to bring out here. So the news that Vidurji did not want to disclose was the annihilation of Yadu dynasty, and we'll talk about that as well, as to what happened in the annihilation of Yadu dynasty. Who could kill the warriors and direct sons of Lord Krishna? So that was again a big pastime which was enacted by Lord Shri Krishna. All the associates, all his family members were not ordinary people. They had specifically come as a entourage of Lord Krishna when he appeared here, and they went back when Lord Krishna so desired. So, but to even show how such a powerful dynasty could get vanquished, it was only when they killed themselves. No one else was so powerful that they could kill the Yadu dynasty people. But Lord Krishna wanted to take them away when he was leaving, so he orchestrated it in such a way that they killed each other, and that's how they went. And it was it's called the Martial Līla, and it was not a very pleasant thing which happened. If you see just an outsider, everybody got intoxicated and they started killing each other, and no one was left. The number which was given in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam was like 560 million people of Yadu dynasty. They got killed. So 560 million. It was Lord Krishna when he started Dwarka, when he moved his people from Mathura to Dwarka, and and then he married 16,108 queens, and he had 10 children from each, 10 sons and 1 daughter from each queen. So it was a huge place. Dwarka was a huge place. There were lots of people. In one of the Bhagavatam sections, it even tells like there were 38 million teachers to teach the children. So just imagine the number of teachers is 38 million. So how big a city it must be. So 560 million Yadu people got killed when they killed each other. So, um, and it happened in a very unpleasant manner. And I want the contrast that I wanted to show here, and also elaborate on the same point that Vidurji did not disclose this news to Pandavas to avoid the distress. So Yadu dynasty annihilation is one incident which happened. And then at the same time, not at the same time, but also in Lord Krishna's Līla, his other family members, which is uh, the Gokul Vasis, Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya, and all the Vrajvasis, they were also his family. So Yadu dynasty was his family, but also his family where he grew up from his childhood. So that is another family. And how did they depart? So that is also told to us in a purport. It has been disclosed to us through Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And one thing which is very beautiful there is that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells us the insider's cue or insider story, which is not there in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. If you just read the Bhāgavatam verses, you will not get that. And at the end, he tells why the whole episode of the Vrajavasis going back to leaving this planet is not mentioned in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And I'll tell that punchline first and then go into the details. So Shukadev Goswami says that he knew that so he's telling all this to Parikshit Maharaj, and he thinks that Parikshit Maharaj had a lot of affinity for the Yadu dynasty because they were good friends. Lord Krishna and Arjun were very good friends, and the whole set of family members, everybody was friends with each other. They had a lot of affinity, and so Parikshit Maharaj would get very disturbed if he heard uh, not disturbed. He would feel that it is very unfair that Lord Krishna took away the Yadu dynasty in such a ghastly manner, where people are killing each other, own family members. Like it's when I was reading that, like sons were killing fathers, brothers were killing brothers. Like it was a pretty unpleasant thing to hear. So Parikshit Maharaj had learned all that Yadu dynasty went in such a way, and if but there was a total contrast in how the Vrajavasis left, how Lord Krishna orchestrated that, and Shukdev Goswami thought that Parikshit Maharaj would feel that it is unfair how Lord Krishna did these two things in so such a different manner. So he did not mention that at all in Srimad Bhagavatam. So all this is disclosed to us through our acharyas like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, but it is not coming in Srimad Bhagavatam just because Shukdev Goswami did not want to, uh, get those negative feelings in Parikshit Maharaj's mind, which is he didn't want to agitate his mind. So he was, again, Shukdev Goswami was also practicing the same thing, same principle as Mahatma Vidur here, that he didn't want to cause the distress to the listener. So I hope that so that part was very touching to me, and I want to share. We'll maybe go into both the things, like how the Yadu dynasty left, and also how gloriously the Vrajavasis left. So how much time? Maybe I'll first go to how Vrajavasis left. So we are done with Bhagavad Gita. Have I opened it? Yeah, it's here. So in Canto 10, chapter number 78, and the name of the chapter is also very, I would say, misleading, or it doesn't tell you the most important thing which happens. If you just read the name of the chapter, it says the killing of Dantavakra, Viduratha, and Romaharshan. Okay, and if you're just going by the chapter names, you would totally miss out on the on this sweet aspect, which is also present in this chapter, wherein Lord Krishna, after killing all these demons, Dantavakra and Viduratha, he goes to visit Vrajvasis. So Lord Krishna met Vrajvasis firstly at the solar eclipse which happened. So they met in Kurukshetra. And our acharyas have also given the chronology in which the various things happened. And this is the last time when Lord Krishna met them on planet Earth, because after this he took them back. So let's see. I would like to read the purport. It was like, very, very nice. I really loved that part. So, so he in this chronology of this particular chapter, chapter number 78, Lord Krishna has just killed Dantavakra, and that battle happened just at the gate of Mathura. And then he crosses the river and goes to Vrindavan. So again, if you see in the purport, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has given this elaborate commentary, and I'll quickly take you first to the last end. Yeah, this is the point which I was trying to say. So Shukadev Goswami, why he did not tell this unpalatable news to Parikshit Maharaj. So this is what is that section. Furthermore, Shukadev considered that Parikshit Maharaj might think, how is it that the same Krishna who caused the cowherds to attain Vaikuntha in their self-same bodies also caused the residents of Dwarka to attain such an inauspicious condition in the course of his martial Leela? Thus the king might consider the arrangement unfair because of his own affinity for the Yadus. That is why Shukadev Goswami did not allow him to hear this pastime, which, as mentioned above, is related in the Uttarakhand of Sri Padma Puran. So Sri Padma Puran gives us this backstory, and our acharyas have brought it out in the purports of this section of Bhagavatam. Similarly, there is one more very important incident which is not present in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, but we get to know about it from Padma Puran. Anybody? It's a pretty famous one. If any devotees want to share that. Like one huge episode is totally missing in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, but we get it from Sri Padma Puran. So maybe that is how the Radha Kund and Sham Kund came to be. So we hear the story of Arishtasur in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and right after that the formation of Radha Kund and Sham Kund happened, but that is also not given in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, although the reason for that is very different. And we'll not go into that right now. So let's now read this. I hope you all also like it. I really love this section. So, yeah. So in this one, we are still talking about the killing of Dantavakra. Let me just read. Concerning the killing of Dantavakra, the Uttarakhand of Padma Puran contains further details in the following prose passage. I'll go to the translation. Then, hearing that Shishupal had been killed, Dantavakra went to Mathura to fight against Krishna. When Krishna, moreover, heard of this, he mounted his chariot and went to Mathura. Then, in this section, it basically tells us how Lord Krishna liberated Dantavakra. Dantavakra was also one of the three incarnations of Jai Vijay. So, in Krishna Līla, it was Shishupal and Dantavakra who were Jai Vijay. And when Lord Krishna killed him, Dantavakra achieved the Sarupya liberation, Mukti. Dantavakra achieved the liberation of gaining a form equal to the Lord. So he also got liberated and went back. Now, then after that comes the, so here it is. So it was Jai Vijay. Yeah. So from here, I think the section starts where Lord Krishna visits Vrindavan. So in this passage of the Padma Puran, the words Krishnastu tat shrutva, when Krishna heard of this, indicate that the Lord heard from Narad, who travels as swiftly as the mind, that Dantavakra had gone to Mathura. oh, actually, this is also about Dantavakra, like where he was killed, uh, just outside the gate of Mathura. Yeah. And in the same section of Padma Puran, this is what comes. And after killing him, Viduratha, who was the, I think, brother of Dantavakra, Krishna crossed the Yamuna and went to the cowherd village of Nanda, where he honored and consoled his aggrieved parents. They drenched him with tears and embraced him. And then the Lord offered obeisances to the elder cowherd men and gratified all the residents with abundant gifts of clothing, ornaments, and so on. Lord Keshav sported continuously with the cowherd women on the Kalindi's charming bank, which was filled with pious trees. Thus the Supreme Lord, assuming the appearance of a cowherd, resided there for 2 months, enjoying the pleasure of intimate pastimes in the various modes of loving reciprocation. Then, by Lord Vasudev's grace, Nanda and all the other residents of that place, together with their children and wives, assumed their eternal spiritual forms, boarded a celestial airplane, and ascended to the supreme Vaikuntha planet, Golok Vrindavan. Lord Krishna, however, after bestowing on Nanda Gopa and all the other inhabitants of Vraja his own transcendental abode, which is free of all disease, traveled through the sky and returned to Dwarka as demigods chanted his praises. And then Srila Rupa Goswami gives more elaboration about this in Laghu Bhagavatamrita. So this is from there. Uh, since Drona and other demigods had previously descended to earth to merge as partial expansions into the king of Raja, which is Nanda Baba, and other devotees of Vrindavan, at this time it was these demigod expansions whom Lord Krishna sent off to Vaikuntha. Lord Hari is perpetually enjoying pastimes in Vrindavan with his intimate devotees, the residents of Gokul, who are dearer to him than even his most dear other devotees. In the passage of the Padma Puran, the word putra in the phrase Nanda Gopa Deha Sarve Jana Putra Daradi Sahita, Nanda Gopa and the others, together with their children and wives, refers to such sons as Krishna, Sridham, and Subala, while the word Dara refers to such wives as Sri Yashoda and Kirtida, the mother of Radharani. The phrase Sarve Jana, all the people, refers to everyone living in the district of Raja. Thus they all went to the topmost Vaikuntha planet, Goloka. The phrase Divya Rupa Dhara indicates that in Goloka they engage in pastimes appropriate to demigods, not those suited to humans as in Gokul. Just as during Lord Ramchandra's incarnation, the residents of Ayodhya were transported to Vaikuntha in their self-same bodies, so in this incarnation of Krishna, the residents of Vraja attained to Goloka in theirs. So they did not do this pastime of dying or being killed or anything. In their self-same bodies, they ascended and they went back to Goloka Vrindavan. And very soon, I think this commentary will also tell us that Lord Krishna, he went with the residents, with Rajvasis, which we just read, he went with them to Golok Vrindavan, but he also stayed back in Vrindavan in the apragat form. So, because we know that Lord Krishna is still present in Sri Vrindavan Dham, all the Leelas are still going on. It's just that for materialistic people, we are not able to see. The devotees are able to see those Leelas. So he removed, he put the curtain so that non-devotees cannot see him. And then the third form went to Dwarka. So Lord Krishna did three things here, and I think it will come very soon. So I'm again gonna start reading. Lord Krishna's journey from Dwarka to Vraja is confirmed by the following passage of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1.11.9. So we are in 1.13. In 1.11, there was one verse which said, O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet your friends, meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like a million years. So there is a reference that when Lord Krishna went to Mathura, so that was when he killed Dantavakra, and when he went to Vrindavan, and he stayed there for 2 months. So during that time, the people of Dwarka were feeling his absence as if it was millions of years. So there is a reference in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam also about Krishna going to Vrindavan. Lord Krishna had been harboring a desire to go see his friends and relatives in Vraja ever since Lord Balram had gone there. So Lord Balram had gone in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We see he went there and he stayed there for 2 months, and he did ras pastimes, and he reciprocated nicely with his parents Nanda and Yashoda. But Lord Krishna could not get a chance at that time to go. So ever since Lord Baldev had gone there, Krishna had this desire. But his mother, father, and other elders in Dwarka had refused to give him permission. They knew that if he goes, he will not come back. Now, however, after the killing of Shalva, when Krishna heard from Narad that Dantavakra had gone to Mathura, no one could object to the Lord's going there immediately without first entering Dwarka. And after killing Dantavakra, he would have the opportunity to meet with his friends and relatives living in Vraj. Thinking like this, and also remembering Uddhav's allusion to the gopis in the words Gayanti te Vishada Karma. So Uddhavji was sent to Vraja by Lord Krishna. So Uddhav went as a messenger of Lord Krishna, and he stayed there in the Vrajadham, and he had nice interaction with Nanda Baba and also with all the gopis. And when Uddhavji came back, he shared everything with Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna was remembering those things as well. So his desire to go back to Raja had increased. Lord Baldev had gone, Uddhavji had gone, and when they came back and told Krishna, his desires were, he kept on increasing, that he wanted to go back and visit. So he went to Raja, dispelling the feelings of separation of the inhabitants. For 2 months, Lord Krishna enjoyed in Vrindavan just as before, previous to his leaving there to kill Kamsa in Mathura. Then, at the end of 2 months, he withdrew his Vraja pastimes from mundane eyes by taking the demigod portions of his parents and other relatives and friends to Vaikuntha. Thus, in one complete plenary manifestation, he went to Goloka in the spiritual world. So we were talking about those three. So first one, he went to Goloka. In another, he remained perpetually enjoying in Vraja while invisible to material eyes. So this is the second one in the apragat form. And in yet another, he mounted his chariot and returned alone to Dwarka. So 3. The people of Shaurasena province thought that after killing Dantavakra, Krishna had paid a visit to his parents and other dear ones and now was returning to Dwarka. The people of Vraja, on the other hand, could not understand where he had suddenly disappeared to, and so they were totally astonished. So this is what happened. So all his parents and everybody, his wives and also Kirtida, and so all the family members of Nanda Maharaj, they all went back in the same bodies. There was no ghastly killing or anything like that which happened. And so they just ended the pastimes here and went to Goloka. So it was such a sweet departure that happened for the Vrajvasis. And this is what we read in the beginning, that Shukdev Goswami did not mention all this to Parikshit Maharaj because he would have felt it as unfair, that why did he have to kill Yadus in such a manner? Why couldn't he do the same thing with the Yadu dynasty also? So as he did for the Vrajvasis. So that's the reason Shukdev Goswami held back this information. He did not share it because it would have been displeasing, just like Vidurji held back that information. So when Vidurji had come back and met the Pandavas, he had gone to pilgrimage to many places. And Dwarka, so Yudhishthir knew that he would have gone to Dwarka as well. They were very holy sites in and around Dwarka. So it was obvious that that he would have gone and he would know that something what was happening in Dwarka. Yeah. So his question to Vidurji was totally natural. If you know that somebody has recently gone to a certain place, you would ask, and especially when they were so close to Yadus. But Vidurji did not answer that question at all, and that there also an etiquette part comes. Yudhishthir could have further probed. Oh, okay, I think you did not answer this question. I just asked you, but he did not. Vidurji was the elder, and Yudhishthir Maharaj did not probe him further. That I think you have forgotten. No, no. If he is not answering, he also took it. Okay, fine. Whatever the elder is saying. So, we when we try to look for these kind of etiquette things, we can see them. Otherwise, we can maybe just totally glaze over those. But through examples in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, how people are behaving with each other, we can also learn that how to behave in the society, especially along with other devotees. Okay, so we will quickly see what happened when how the Yadu dynasty disappeared. So that is also one of the very highly misunderstood sections. That how could those sons of Krishna, grandsons of Krishna, got intoxicated and they killed each other mercilessly. They were, in fact, I was reading that they were so highly intoxicated and so furious that they even ran behind Balramji. They even tried to hit Lord Krishna. So just imagine, and these are the same people who loved Krishna more than their own life. They were constantly Krishna conscious. They were exemplifying that they would be always thinking about Krishna. So such great people uh, are now behaving in a totally different manner. So this was um, Lord Krishna just wanted to set an example here that, and he wanted to teach us that, uh, he wanted to teach that, uh, firstly, anything can happen in this material world as the Lord desires. You cannot assume anything to be permanent. Everything is temporary. He wanted to show that part, that everything in the material world is temporary and everything happens as per the Lord's desire. You cannot assume anything that, oh, this fits my frame of reference, so this is how it shall be forever. Krishna wants anything can happen. And then he also wanted to show that, uh, as we just recently I shared that the dynasty was huge. The number of people who got killed were 560 million, and there were many more. The children and women were still left. So Lord Krishna, uh, it's mentioned in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam that he wanted to reduce the burden of earth. So, I mean, it was not just the reducing the number of people on earth. He also thought that once Lord Krishna had made up his mind that he wanted to depart, and he wanted to take all his entourage back with him. And there is one more reasoning which is given in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and again there are commentaries by Jiva Goswami which I'll mainly focus on, where he tells a certain line of thought. But the other line of thought which is given is that there was a possibility that after Lord Krishna left, that common people would now consider his descendants as to be equal to Lord, that as good as Lord Krishna, and it will be like based on the family tree kind of thing, which Lord Krishna did not want. That just because they are my children, children's children, and so on, if the dynasty goes on, that now they are also treated uh, as good as Bhagwan. Lord Krishna did not want that. People should know that Bhagwan is one Lord Krishna. I mean, these people are his part of his family, and just because of being born in a particular family, nobody should get a kind of a status just because of the birth. It should be earned. It should be based on your guna and karma. So that is one thing which Lord Krishna wanted to show through this pastime. So there is, yeah, in Canto 11, um, the first few chapters uh, explain about this particular thing, how the Maushal Leela happened, how the boys. So there was um, boys of Lord Krishna, sons of Lord Krishna. They played a trick on some saints. They tied a cloth on the abdomen of a boy with Samba, who is son of Jambavati, queen of Lord Krishna. So they tied a cloth around his abdomen and made him look like a woman, covered his face with a veil, and took in front of the saints and asked that, can you please tell us whether this lady will give birth to a boy or a girl? And the saints knew very well that this is they are playing a trick on them, and they cursed. And all this, the whole behavior was very out of the books. These kids, I mean, they were not kids anymore. Samba and the other sons of Krishna, this was not the normal behavior that they would have done, that they would have played a trick on saints like Narad Muni and like Asita, Devala. A lot of like great personalities, saints were there. This was not very much expected. But so the only way we can put our heads around this is if we think that Lord Krishna really just wanted to take them away now. So they acted in this way. Similar thing happened with Parikshit Maharaj. Like this was not when he put the dead snake around this sage's body. It was totally out of his character. This was not his normal behavior, but it happened because it had to lead to so many other things that now we have Śrīmad Bhāgavatam that we are hearing. So, uh, so this particular 11.1.3, so Canto 11, first chapter, this third verse has the commentaries from Srila Jiva Goswami, which very nicely tells us the reason behind. So the whole chapter, if you read, a lot of reasons are given as to why this whole thing happened. But I really like this section. Very, very nicely, Srila Jiva Goswami has explained the reason of disappearance of Yadu dynasty. So I'm gonna read that. So I'll read the translation and then go to the purport section, which has Jiva Goswami's commentary too. We can also see a little bit of contrast there. The Supreme Personality of Godhead used the Yadu dynasty, which was protected by his own arms, to eliminate the kings who, with their armies, had been the burden of this earth. So Yadus had killed so many other people in Mahabharata war. Then the unfathomable Lord thought to himself, although some may say that the earth's burden is now gone, in my opinion, it is not yet gone, because there still remains the Yadava dynasty itself, whose strength is unbearable for the earth. So this tells, that negative things about Yadav dynasty, although they are all, nice devotees of Lord. They got birth, they appeared in such a nice family, the best possible family of Lord Krishna. And also a little bit reference here to the earth's burden, like Lord Krishna appeared when Bhumi Devi approached the Lord, requesting him to remove the burden on herself. That's how Lord Krishna appeared in this world. And then in his childhood, he killed many demons, and then he orchestrated this whole Mahabharat war, where he brought together so many demoniac kings and got them all killed in one go in Mahabharat war. Even in the previous, before Mahabharat war, there is this episode where Jarasandh would attack Mathura again and again. And it's explained in Bhagavatam that 17 times Lord Krishna had defeated him, but he would again come back. And Lord Krishna was thinking that, okay, once after defeating him once, let him go, let him collect more demonic people, come back again so he can again, kill one big set. So he was just using Jarasandh, that he would go collect a big, huge army and come and then get defeated. They would all get killed. But he would not kill Jarasandh at that time. Again, Jarasandh would go collect a lot of people, bring them all together, and Lord Krishna would kill all of them. So he was just removing the burden of earth one by one and using Jarasandh to do that. So Lord Krishna was fulfilling his promise to Bhumi Devi about removing the burden of demonic people. But how come he can say that even the Yadav dynasty is a burden on earth? So we're just gonna go to Srila Jiva Goswami's explanation here. So Srila Jiva Goswami has given another reason for the destruction of the Yadu dynasty. He emphasizes that the activities of the Supreme Lord should never be taken to be ordinary material activities, nor are the Lord's associates ordinary persons. Although Lord Krishna apparently incarnates within this world for some time and then goes away, it should be understood that the Supreme Lord is eternally situated with his entourage in his various abodes in the spiritual sky, such as Sri Gokul, Mathura, and Dwarka. The members of the Yadu dynasty are eternal associates of the Lord, and therefore they cannot bear to be separated from the Lord. Since Krishna was preparing to give up his earthly pastimes, if he were to leave the Yadu dynasty on the earth, they would surely become so disturbed by his absence that, in their highly agitated state of mind, they would trample and destroy the earth. Therefore, Krishna arranged the disappearance of the Yadu dynasty prior to his own disappearance. And also, Jiva Goswami says that the members of Yadu dynasty are never to be considered irreligious. Vaishnava Acharyas have mentioned that the story of the disappearance of the Yadu dynasty is especially meant to help the conditioned souls achieve liberation from the bondage of materialistic life. Within the three worlds, there were none as powerful and opulent as the Yadu dynasty. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the possessor of unlimited opulences, beauty, strength, knowledge, fame, and so on. And the members of the Yadu dynasty, being the personal associates of the Lord, were also endowed with inconceivable opulences. Therefore, when we see how a fratricidal war suddenly deprived the members of the Yadu dynasty of all of their earthly possessions and even their lives, we can understand that there is no permanent position within this material world. So that is one thing which this destruction clearly shows us. Everything is temporary. There is nothing which is permanent in this world. In other words, although the members of the Yadu dynasty are eternal associates of the Lord and were immediately transferred to another planet where the Lord was appearing, their sudden disappearance through fratricidal war is meant to impress upon the conditioned souls the temporary nature of this world. Therefore, the apparent indifference or enmity of certain members of the Yadu dynasty toward Krishna should not be taken to be actual irreligion on their part. The entire situation was arranged by Lord Krishna to teach a lesson to the conditioned souls. In this connection, Srila Jiva Goswami has cited several verses from the Bhāgavatam to prove that the members of the Yadu dynasty achieved their exalted birth in the Lord's own family by innumerable pious activities and by complete absorption in the thought of Lord Krishna. In fact, it is said that in sleeping, sitting, walking, and speaking, they were unable to remember their own selves because they were simply thinking of Krishna. They were like 100% Krishna conscious people. And so this whole thing happened because Lord Krishna orchestrated it to be in that way. And also he wanted to show as a very huge example for materialistic people, conditioned souls, that don't think anything is permanent in this world. Even his own people, his Yadu dynasty, can also get destroyed in a flash. Like in just one day, they all killed each other. So that was about how the Yadu dynasty disappeared, and the contrast with how the Vrajavasis disappeared from this world, and the sweetness of Shukadev Goswami to not mention that in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, so that Parikshit Maharaj's mind is not agitated and he does not feel that, oh, this was unfair. And in the similar manner, Vidur Maharaj, Vidurji also did the same thing. He did not disclose the news of the Yadu dynasty's annihilation to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Even though Yudhishthir Maharaj asked a pointed question, how are our friends in Dwarka doing? So he did not disclose that. And we should also try to observe this austerity of speech. Sometimes we might be in a similar situation where we know something, we have some piece of news, or we have some information which if we share with the other person, we definitely know that it's going to cause a lot of distress to him. or her, and we should try to observe Vacho Vegam, which is one instruction from Nectar of Instruction, Updeshamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami. In fact, it starts with that phrase. That's in the first verse, the first word, set of words, Vacho Vegam, that we should curb the urge of speech. So that is very important, curbing the urge of speech. Okay, so I think I'll stop here and see if devotees want to share anything from their own experiences, their realizations. Please feel free to do that. I'll stop the sharing now. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Very nice discourse, lot of interesting explanations from the acharyas. I think help understand sometimes seemingly complex situations that material mind cannot address. Let's open it up to devotees. Questions, comments, realizations, please share. Mataji went through a lot of nectarian instructions and pastimes, and she still spared time for us to, delve into it deeper. So please go ahead. I'll ask a question since others are waiting. I had not read the section about the explanation of how the Brajvasis, very wonderfully were transferred to the spiritual world. And, because of the pain and hearing about the Yadus destroying each other, I hadn't read that section of Canto 11. Have you come across anything in reading, just like Lord Krishna, very kind of peacefully transferred all the Brajvasis to Golok? Why did that? Do the acharyas explain why did it not occur in an equally peaceful manner for the Yadu dynasty? I mean, they could have also entered into the celestial airplanes and gone back to spiritual world, but something more stronger happened.
Yeah, that's what I gathered from I read the purports of the Yadu dynasties annihilation, and the main point that was coming out was Lord Krishna wanted to set the example that nothing is permanent, and especially in some other purports which I read, it was about like just because you're born in a certain family, you should not be given respect as if you are the same person who, or like for example, if you're Lord Krishna's dynasty, if nothing was destroyed, their sons and grandsons and the whole lineage would have continued, and people would start giving them as much respect as if they are respecting Lord Krishna. So he didn't want that, and there was example given of Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Acharya as well, that Lord Chaitanya did not want this, and that's why he did not have any children. And Nityananda Prabhu had a son, and there are in the purport it was explained that there are right now his descendants who call themselves Nityananda Vamsha, and even though they are not following very, very high Vaishnava Acharya examples, they are not behaving in the most appropriate manner, but just because of their birth in the family of Lord Nityananda, they expect to be treated as good as Lord Nityananda, and this is not something which is very good. So that's why Lord Krishna did not want something like that to happen. So he removed the whole Yadu dynasty. So that was another reason which was given, apart from setting an example that everything is temporary.
Yeah, that kind of the setting the example is I think the key thing that was pointed out.
Yeah. Yeah, but why they could have also gone in a peaceful manner.
Right.
Yeah, it was not. I don't know if it was more than that.
Yeah, I mean, one can also think of Jaya Vijay. I mean, the mistake could have been peacefully corrected, but Lord Krishna and Lord Narayan decided, to engage in this pastime for many reasons. I see a message from, I think, Manasi Gangamatan. She's thanking you and liking the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami for the destruction of Yadav dynasty. Yesterday was a disappearance anniversary of Sri Jiva Goswami as well, so it's nice that you brought in those reports. Anybody else have questions or comments? I know it's an uncomfortable weekend with all the weather and all that, but Bhagavatam can make everything better. I guess I don't hear anybody else. Yeah, I remember Chaitanya Charaprabhu, long time ago, not a long time ago in 2020 when we had the COVID lockdown, which this kind of feels like today. He said when you kind of come across somewhat contradictory or unexplainable behavior in terms of, our modern, our worldly conception, then try to think of the situation in terms of relationships. What is the relationship between, say, devotee A and devotee B, and why did they do this? And what are the instructions for us? And I think that's what Sri Jiva Goswami, in the commentary that you cited for 11.1.3, does. He takes that situation of the relationship between Lord Krishna and the Yadus and tries to explain something that can be puzzling, such as fratricidal war for the Yadus, and tries to indicate an important instruction for us by using that relationship. Just like you mentioned, Maharaj Parikshit, could not tolerate the thirst for a couple of hours in the forest and draped a snake around the rishi. Yet that same Maharaj Parikshit sat for 7 days without eating or drinking a drop of water. So there's always a relationship issue in Bhagavatam that Radhikaraman also said in Bhagavatam, a very important thing you can see is the relationship between devotees, like you pointed out in your verse. Thank you. Here's another. For some reason, people are sending chat messages. Thank you for Chandrasekhar Prabhu saying thank you for relating to Acharya's commentary about Brajvasi's departure. Sorry, need to drop off. Haribol. I guess should any last thoughts, questions, clarifications? We have a nice turnout here, so that's nice that people are, even though staying home, they're trying to be engaged. Shalom Mataji is thanking you for a nice start to the day and reminders about use of speech. One funny thing I read, I gave a lecture on this, austerity of speech, because Lord Buddha also says the same thing. Before I speak, should I ask myself whether it's truthful? If it is, if it's not, don't speak it. Is it beneficial? If it's not, then I shouldn't speak it. Is it pleasing? If it's not, then I should not speak it. And then other very nice devotees, I heard a lecture on this from Gaur Gopal Prabhu, who said, other things you can add to that is this the right time to speak it? And then finally, am I the right person to speak it? Maybe a spiritual master can say something that one devotee should not be saying to another devotee. And then I read about I'm just trying to churn the nectar that you created. A teacher kind of did an experiment with little children at an early age, where she took a paper plate. Have you heard this one? So she took a paper plate and she asked one child to squeeze out a toothpaste tube into the paper plate. And, of course, all the kids were giggling and laughing because there's squirts of toothpaste just coming out and like streams. And the teacher said, okay, here's a spoon and try to put the toothpaste back into the tube. And of course, the kids started laughing even more because there's no way to do it. So the teacher was saying, just like this, be mindful of your speech and its impact on others. Because, sorry, Nitya's saying Hare Krishna to my mother. That be mindful of, the impact of one's speech on others before you speak it, because you can't put it back in. I think we all as devotees have had experiences on, the challenges of this. What's in the heart comes out eventually. So we have to be thoughtful. Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji. I know this was you didn't get enough time to prepare. My not sending out the schedule. Hopefully we correct that. So once we got through Biascha, Kripasin, the Dev Chapatitana Pavani, Vaishnavi Namo Namaha. Very nice. Nice start to the date. Okay. Normally I say, let's see you all at the Sunday feast. It's going to be virtual today. Narottam Vilas Prabhu has kindly agreed to give the lecture today for Sunday feast, and the link was sent by Mataji in the WhatsApp group. So please join up at 11:30. I think there's some issue with the video camera. So, in the past we used to do Arti Darshan and all that, and it's not clear to me how well that'll go. So, Narottam Vilas Prabhu, are you still on the call? I think so. Okay, well, we'll find out.
Okay.
Take care, Mataji. Stay safe.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Bye-bye.